Good morning, everybody. This is Calvin Butler. I want to welcome you all back again for another episode of the Commercial Loan Guide, which is brought to you by First Choice Financial Incorporated, DBA FCFC Inc. Um, Last time we was here, we talked about equipment financing. As promised, today we're going to go over commercial and residential real estate investment loans. And that's one of our biggest products. There's a lot of real estate development going on. People buying houses, flipping houses, buying single family homes and selling them, buying apartment complexes, duplexes, multifamily, it covers everything, even rentals, and things like that. And with commercial lending, we have our lending partners will do anything from 75,000 up to 50 million plus. So literally, if you're trying to do a development project and it's $250 million or $500 million, we have um, lending partners that can accommodate you. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into our presentation this morning. Okay, share my screen. Let me share my entire screen here. Yep. Okay. So this morning, um, as I mentioned before, this is our business profile site, our Linktree business profile site. The link will be underneath this video. You can visit our Linktree business profile site to access all of our products and our lenders. And you can apply directly from our profile site, as mentioned before. And that website is linktr.ee/FCF Inc. Okay? Don't worry about trying to remember it. I'll place the link just below this video when it's posted, so you'll be able to click on it and go directly to it. But today, we're going to go over real estate investing. As you can see here, when going to our profile site, you can access all of our products and all of our lenders, everything right here on our Linktree site. But today, we're going to be focusing on residential real estate financing and commercial real estate financing, 75K to 50 million plus. Okay, let's go get into that. All right, as you can see here, we have nationwide lenders that does residential real estate for residential real estate investors. Now, what are you going to need to qualify? And as you can see here, they would do everything from rental loans, fix and flip, new build, multifamily, the works, okay? The works, okay? For our rental loans, what would they do? Individual or portfolio. So if you're doing an individual rental property, they can fund that. If you have a portfolio of rental properties, they can provide funding for that as well. Single family, condo, townhome, and multifamily. Okay, that pretty much covers everything. If you're someone who's buying a house here and there and wanting to, buy it, do some upgrades on it, flip it out to make some good profits, you can do that. They'll do that. Condos, any type of condos they will do. Townhomes and multifamily. They can do 1 to 4 multifamily units. They can do, 16, however many multifamily units that you have in that particular building. Stabilized rental portfolio. Now, they also do stabilized rental portfolio. Let's say you're buying a bunch of rental properties, or you're wanting to refinance a bunch of rental properties, or whatever the case may be. And especially if you're buying rental properties that's got a good portfolio of rentals, they have rent rolls and things like that. They would definitely finance those. Okay. 75K to 50 million plus is the amount of money that it would do on the rental loans, as you can see there. Up to 75% of value. Okay. Let's say if the property is valued at 2 million and someone is selling it to you for 1 million, guess what? You're covered. If they're selling you for 1.5 million, I think you're covered. So they'll do 75% of the value. Now that's not of the purchase price, that's of the value. There's a big difference. Some places will do 85, 95% of the purchase price, which means you still have to come with what? 10% down if you're doing 90% or 95%, you still got to come with 5% down or whatever the case may be. We would do 75, our lenders would do 75% of the value. So the value of the property may be much higher than what it's selling for. If that's the case, then you're 100% covered on your loan. You don't have to come with any of your own money. That's huge. Short and long-term rental, okay? 30-year fixed terms, okay? So they do short and long-term rentals, 30-year fixed term, purchase, refinance, or cash out. Okay, if you own some rental properties and you need to get some cash out of your properties, you can refinance them and do cash out, or you can do a purchase if you're buying. So they do purchases, refinance, and cash outs. Okay, no experience required. Now that's a huge one. That is a huge one. I have run into a lot of situations where when I was doing this years ago, and there's a lot of companies now, in order for them to do a real estate loan for you, or a real estate investment loan, get funding, they want you to have experience. They want you to have like over the last 2 years have flipped out or done 6 to 10 deals already. Or in the last 3 years, you have to have done like 6 deals in the last 3 years. That's 2 deals a year. I was partnered with this one company, and like I said, they wanted you to have this experience in flipping out properties or doing any type of real estate loans, and that knocked a lot of my clients out of the qualification process. But the lenders that I'm with now, they don't require any experience. You be brand new at this. You could have just taken a course on real estate investing, and you want to jump into real estate. Well, here you go. You have an opportunity to do so with the lenders that we have in our partner portfolio. Okay. Foreign nationals eligible. That's another huge one. Okay. You got a lot of real estate companies. If you're not in the United States, they won't fund deals for you to invest in the United States. The company that we are partnered with now, they would do foreign nationals. So foreign national deals are eligible, and national lending all throughout the country. Okay. Next is our fix and flip. Fix and flip individual or multifamily properties. We've gone over there. They'll do just a one-off unit, or they'll do multifamily, they'll do multiple properties. So if you've got one property that you're fixing and flip, they'll do that. If you have multiple properties that you have gone in on and you want to fix and flip, or let's say you bought a property through a lender, and then you turn around and you see another property you want, but you haven't flipped that property out yet. So you see another property that you want to go ahead and pull the trigger on. Guess what? That doesn't matter. You can come in and get another property and another one and another one and another one. Okay? A lot of places they only want to loan you money if you have done a property, fixed it up, flipped it out, and that's closed out. And then they'll say, well, you can do another one now that you flipped that one out. Well, not with the companies that we're with now. They would do multiple properties at the same time or in consecutive order, however you want to put it. Single family, condo, townhome, multifamily properties. Again, that covers the gamut. Okay. We've gone over that, single family, condo, townhome, multifamily properties. Doesn't matter. We can get the funding for it. Fixed and floating rates. Wow. Now that's a big one. Fixed and floating rate. Okay. A fixed rate is when you lock in on a rate. A floating rate is when you get approved and you have a rate, but they'll float that rate. Now, we have lenders that will fix your rate just to be on the safe side. Let's say the rates are, right now 6.25% or whatever the case may be. Okay. And they lock you in at that rate. But they'll also have some other have some other quotes where they're floating the rate just in case the rate drops. They want to lock you in case the rate goes up on one lender on proposal, but they may have three others that they're floating your rate just in case that rate drops. Okay, the rate comes down. Then you want to take that 6.25%. If the rates drop to 5.75%, then they'll get that floating rate and they'll lock you in it down, then close you on that particular loan proposal. So the fixed and floating rates is a great idea. Again, 75K to 50 million plus is what they will fund on fixed and flips. Up to 85% of cost. Now, this is not 85% of value. This is up to 85% of cost. So whatever your cost is on the purchase and the fix, what it costs to fix it up, that's the purchase and the fix up combined. So if you have I would say if you're doing that on your fix up cost, go with the highest bids or the highest numbers you can get as far as, your perspective or your proposals that you get from contractors who are going to be fixing up or on your supplies and things that you're going to need to fix up the property. Always kind of go for the most expensive. That way you can still get it done at that 85% of cost. Okay. 12 to 24-month terms plus extensions. Now, fix and flips are not something you're holding on to. If it takes you longer than 2 years to fix and flip a property, then you probably shouldn't be in the business. It's probably not for you. So 12 to 24-month terms is more than enough time for you to purchase that property, fix it up, flip it out, and then pay off that loan. Okay. And then we'll give you extensions if you need it. Okay. Revolving credit options available. That's great too. Like I remember when I bought my trucks when I was in trucking, I did revolving lines of credit. And that's a great way of doing it. You can get approved for a revolving line of credit. Let's say they give you a revolving line of credit of $500,000 or $250,000, whatever the case may be. You're going out and you buy, little fix and flips and this and that. You don't have to use all that money. You can use enough to purchase that property. And then when you do that, you're only paying back the interest on that particular amount of money that you have used. That's how revolving lines of credit work. That's how revolving credit lines work. Okay. No experience required again on any of our real estate products that we have. They don't require any experience to get approved for the funding. And again, nationwide lending. New build, new construction loans with term loan takeouts. Wow. Okay. New construction loans with term loan takeouts. Okay, I don't need to say anything more about that. Single family or townhome multifamily properties. So they would do new build on single family or townhome and multifamily properties. So they will do that. Okay. Fixed and floating rate. We've already gone over what the fixed and floating rate is and what the benefit of that is. And on new build, they're doing anything from 100K to 50 million plus, up to 24-month term plus extensions on construction loan. Now again, if it takes you longer than 24 months to build a house or build these things, and I can see where it may come to a little bit on the multifamily properties or something like that. That could be, an issue. But you have extensions on construction loans. Okay, you do get the extensions that you can get at also up to 100% of cost. on construction loan. Wow. 100%, okay, up to 100% of the cost on construction loans. Lot financing can be included. Wow. So you can get the construction, you can get the lot and the construction, the land and the build completely funded. Okay. Again, no experience necessary. Foreign nationals are eligible. Nationwide lending. And we have multifamily. Multifamily condos, mixed use with majority residential. Now, what does that mean? Mixed use is, you see a lot of this going up in Tallahassee. Matter of fact, I have a client right now who is in, and I think we just got him his pre-approval for one of those units that goes like here in Tallahassee, this big college town area. So they have a lot of these areas downtown on Gang Street that's like where they have a business on the bottom. Okay, on the bottom floor, it's businesses, a Starbucks or a Chili's or some type of restaurant or coffee shop or whatever it is on the bottom. Okay, but everything on top of that is residence. Okay, so you have that's what it means when it says mixed use with majority residential. The majority of the units in that building are residential, usually the bottom two floors, either the bottom floor or the bottom two floors are businesses. Everything above that is residential. Okay. 5 unit, 5+ unit multifamily, minimum $35,000 per door. Okay, so if you're building an apartment complex or multifamily unit, 5+ units, multifamily, uh, it's a minimum $35,000 per door. Okay, so for each one you have in there, you know, it's going to be $35,000 minimum per door. Okay, is what they were funding on. Okay, interest only and amortization options. Now, as I mentioned before, when I bought my trucks when I was in the trucking industry, I bought 12 of them throughout my years in trucking. I got them all on lines of credit. And the great thing about the lines of credit I got, I had an interest only payment option, which means if like my line of credit was $225,000, I went out and found me a used truck for $50,000. And of course, I used that $50,000 on my line of credit, like a credit card, like a card with your balance on it. And I use my card to purchase that $60,000 or $50,000 truck. I'm not paying on the entire $225,000 that I haven't used it all. I'm only paying on the $50,000 or $60,000 that I made the purchase with. By the way, I'm paying the interest only on that. So in actuality, I was able to get all my trucks and have the title to them the day I bought them, and I'm paying back the interest on the card, which was like my first truck I bought for $60,000. I was paying $375 a month. So when other people who were buying trucks were paying $800, $900 a week, and they didn't have the title. I was paying $375 a month, and I had the title. So that's a great option there. If they're willing to do the interest only and amortization options. Amortization where you pay it over time, and you're paying it off over time. The interest only where you're just paying the interest on interest on that loan. Okay. Again, 75K to 50 million plus is what they were loaned on multifamily. 18 to 24 months on renovations, 3, 5, 7, 10, and 30-year on stabilized buildings. Wow. All right, so there you have it. Up to 75% of value cost. Again, the value and the cost versus value/cost. Now, the value of a property could be astronomically or greatly higher than what the purchase price is on a property. Okay. So if you're buying a property and the value of the property, let's say, is $1 million, and you're buying it for $500,000 or $750,000, guess what? You're covered. Okay? Paid up to 75% of value slash cost. Purchase or refinance. Okay, they do both purchase and refinance. No experience required. Foreign nationals are eligible and nationwide lending. Look, everybody, again, if you're in real estate broker, real estate, investor, or you're just someone who's wanting to get into real estate, since none of our lending partners have require you to have any type of experience. If you're looking to get a real estate investment loan, okay, give me a call, 850-933-4632. Let me stop my share here for a minute. Um, as I mentioned before, you know, I've been doing this, this business really since for about 15 years. Um, I kind of put it on the back burner when I was in trucking, and I still did some deals here and there. But I have helped a lot of people get funded for anything from equipment loans, or from trucking to real estates, deals and things like that. I think my biggest real estate deal that I was able to assist on was for $37 million. It was back in, it was in the late 90s. I think it was 1998 or 99 is when that happened. It was a small development, but it was $35 million. And one of my lending partners got that deal done, and the client was extremely happy. I've done some other real estate stuff that were in the, anywhere from 50,000 upward to 150 to $160,000 on some multifamily units, some small units, stuff like that. And I helped a couple of people to do some homes that were in, $200 to $600,000. But here's the thing: there's a lot of money in real estate investing, and there's a lot of money to be loaned out for real estate investing. So if you're in that field, if you're in that market, if you're in that type of industry, and you need options to get money fast, you need options to where you can get money if you don't have experience, or you need whatever your situation may be, I am confident that our lending partners will be able to assist you in accomplishing your goals and getting over some of those hurdles to getting these properties. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a call, 850-933-4632, or you can email us at fcfinancial@ymail.com. Again, that's fcfinancial@ymail.com. Look, I want to thank you all for joining me for another episode of the Commercial Loan Guy. This has been Calvin Butler with First Choice Financial Incorporated, DBA FCFC Inc., and I look forward to seeing you all the next time. The next time, we will be going over some tips of what it takes to get approval, or more specifically, the importance of a business bank account. Thank you all, and have a great, great, great day. Bye, everybody.